Hello there, Prez. Hmm. I'm
I'm
having a
sorry, I was
problem.
muted. How are you today, Miss
Oh,
Lisa?
I thought I was like, oh no, technical difficulties. I was just hearing you and then I wasn't. Hello, everyone. I am Lisa J. Stocks here with Prez-the-Investor for another episode, for episode 8 of Smart Money Talks. Prez, can you let us know what we're going to be talking about today?
Okay, today's topic is navigating through the misinformation that we find on social media when it pertains to investing.
All right. And how's your week been?
My week has been pretty awesome, pretty
Mhm.
slow. It's been raining at where I'm at, where I am the last few days, but it's pretty sunny today. It's a nice day out today, so I'm not gonna complain. Um,
Mm.
Before we get started, guys, this is not financial advice nor a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. We're just giving our views and our thought process on the market and investing.
Okay, okay. So I know you are a huge wrestling fan. So what were you doing this weekend? What was going on?
I've been watching WrestleMania, trying to see if Cody Rhodes is gonna finish the story.
Yeah, I don't know anything about wrestling. I just know that you like it. So where do you watch this at? Where what
um,
platform or
I watch it on Peacock. I have a Peacock subscription. It's about what $6-7 a month, so I get to watch all of the premium live events, and I have access to the entire video library for the WWE. And I've also been considering taking a small position in the company. It's under ticker symbol TKO. It's a multi-billion-dollar company since the pandemic, and they've been doing good. They've been doing nothing but good ratings on TV, merch sales, and good content. I've been, a wrestling fan pretty much all of my life, so I bounced in and out the periods of my life with times when it got phony. But since the pandemic, it's been A1, chef's kiss. So I've been looking at considering taking a very small position, like a 1% allocation in my portfolio into ticker symbol TKO Holdings.
Okay, all right. I saw that one of our fellow YouTube friends and Discord friends, Rel, was at the event last night. Else I probably would not have even known about it because, like I said, I am not up on anything related to wrestling. I did watch a little bit of college basketball, but not a big sports fan in general. I have noticed that there's a lot of finance commercials going on right now for all different platforms. Even there's a commercial for QQQ, actually has its own commercial. Have you ever seen any of those?
Yes, I have. Now, what I have noticed is that they normally run these type of commercials like towards the end of a bull market to try to, get inexperienced people to open up accounts on their platforms and possibly try to trade their life savings away. That's their intent, their goal, and their intent. They don't. I don't feel that these commercials have the consumer's best interests at heart because of the times when they decide they want to air them. Like they're not airing these commercials during bear markets.
Mhm. Um, well, I mean, they might not have the consumer's uh, best interests there, but whenever you get in, if you get in and have the right mindset, you can do great things and really get your it shouldn't, like you're saying, it shouldn't be positioned around a certain time. You should just get started as soon as possible. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, that is a good point. We all know that there's always these motives that people have for when and where they do things. And
Hmm.
even with investing, we are looked at in certain situations. We are the client, we are the consumer. So we have to make sure that we're out there advocating for ourselves. That's why I try to highlight so much that we have to be mindful of our 401ks and things like that, because we're the ones, they're managing it for us, but we have to come to the table with some knowledge, else we could be in something that has high fees that benefits them and not us. So hello to everyone rolling in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. I see Tay's here. I don't know if Tay wrapped up her live, but she's over here with us now.
That's awesome.
Um,
Really appreciate you, Tay. Thanks for stopping in and showing support.
so
Something else I would like to add as far as these ads and commercials is concerned, they're
mhm,
expecting the new investor to not have the proper knowledge as to how to navigate through these markets. So, yeah, make sure you do your own research, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, because
mhm.
the information is out there and it's free and it's accessible to you. All you have to do is take the time and search for it.
And yeah, I hope like by coming to both of our channels, we're not just saying empty words here about do your research, that we're going to be putting out content and having these discussions together that give you the information that we're talking about. We want to be here to help you to navigate this and to show you what we're doing on our end to do the research, to how we pick things and stuff like that, because I'm a person, I need low level information sometimes. Like the people, there's certain, like in today's topic that you chose here, there are certain people that say things and there's no context to it, you know? And I hope that I try to present things and I try to have conversations uh, when I have guests on here with me or co hosts with me on the channel, that we are giving you real quality information that you can take and put into action in your own investing and trading strategies. So, I did some updates to Nightbot. It seems like it's working.
That's
You said
awesome.
you said, Frez, you and Nightbot have not been getting along over there
No,
on
we
your
have not. We have not. Nightbot don't like me yet.
Okay, well, we'll have to work on that so that your everything is working on your end too. So, our topic again is, can you remind us of the topic, please, Frez?
Navigating through the misinformation we find on social media when it pertains to investing. Now, this could be things like clickbaity type titles. Like you'll see titles like the top 5 stocks to buy now, or these stocks could potentially 100x if you buy them now, or things of that nature. You got to really, and then you click on the video and they're talking about trades actually, and they're not giving you a entry plan or exit plan of none of that nature. And if you're really naive to this field, then you could be buying into something blind and get left holding the bag.
Mhm. Definitely, I definitely agree with that. And you know, certain people, I think that the issue is that they're presenting information and people are consuming it, but the consumer doesn't realize where they are at in their journey and their knowledge. So they're hearing the information and they don't know how to put it into action. They're not getting, if the person if they go to a YouTube video or whatever, they hear someone talking about something at the gym, um, they're not putting together, what price did this person buy? Do they have a stop loss set? They don't know the person's full investing strategy. How long have they been investing into it for? Um, and they're just ready. Oh, they're talking about this. This is some hot stock. This is some meme coin that just came out, and they want to get involved in it, but they don't know how to, because the information that they consume, that they came across, just didn't give them the level of information that matched where they were. If we hear about something, we can then um, do research on our own, bring it to the Discord community, bring it to each other. We have different ways of navigating it and deciding, is this the time to get in? So, can you elaborate on what your feelings are about that?
Yes, you will definitely find a whole slew of different content creators that will pretty much hype up a stock that they're looking at trading and they have an entry and exit plan in mind in their head, but they're not enlightening you on their entry and exit plan. They're only trying to get you to, they're trying to bring attention to this particular stock or crypto for that matter, so that they can get some volume into their play.
Mhm. I think we're both big on investing, long-term investing, uh, getting your retirement account in place comes before trading. But don't let me speak for you. Do you agree with me on that, Prez?
I totally agree. Before anyone even considers trading, and this is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell, but my overall thought process on that would be to build a foundation as far as long-term investing first, because trading is super high risk. And if you don't have your emotions in check and you haven't taken the time to go through the trial and error period like myself have, then you could find yourself losing a significant amount of money, and it could possibly discourage you away from the market and investing altogether. And I don't want that for you, and I'm sure Lisa can agree on that.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't want that either, and I agree with you that excuse me, that, it the negative results are gonna linger with you. It may turn you off completely to it, and I don't want that to happen. We can share our mistakes as well as our successes here so that hopefully you can not have some of the mistakes that we've already worked through. That's what a big hope that I have that I'm able to achieve through having this channel and having these type of discussions. Um, so with that, one of the things is just get started with investing and get started with relatively safe, basic investments that are beginner friendly and that, you're not pretty much you can't go wrong with. So, because that exists, and I want everyone out here to be investing, not necessarily trading, but definitely investing for yourself first and foremost. And then if you can, do it, teach your children, that's great too. So, but I want to see uh the wealth building, and this is how you do it is through investing, not just saving, not just working every day and not prioritizing allocating money that is going to be for the long term, for investing, um, for retirement, especially because we need to think about that now while we're young and able to work or even work overtime and all these different things because the time is going to come that we're not going to be able to.
Exactly. And also to add to that, a lot of people just does I lost my thought. I'm sorry. You can go ahead, Lisa. It'll come back to me.
Okay, so yeah, I think that we don't want you to think, or not that we don't want you to think. Let me start over too. Let me get my thoughts together. Investing is not a get rich quick scheme. You need to take your time, build your knowledge. Don't just think you're going to jump in at, doing options and trades and you're going to put in some money and double it. Uh, if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. We wouldn't be going to work. There would be a lot more people just day trading at home. It does take skill and knowledge, and
Mhm.
you have to take your time to build up your portfolio. I don't want anyone who just got paid on Friday to then uh, invest or try to go about trading their paycheck on Monday morning hoping for success because we're not going to be able to live off of hope. We want to make sure that you have the money for the bills and the things that you actually need. So take it
Exactly.
slow. Take it slow with your learning process. And I don't know what your thoughts were on how I think I have a few steps here on how we're going to go about navigating the media and the things that we're seeing that Prez wanted to highlight as the issues and obstacles that we're going to run into. So I think the first one I have here is the importance of your due diligence and conducting the research on what your investment is. And you have to know if you're going to a source, kind of what level that source is on. If that source is pretty much advanced trading and they're not giving you the details that you need, maybe you could find a different site or a different YouTuber that breaks it down in a way that you can apply um, in a more logical way into your investing strategy. For example, when Keenan Grace, someone that we both happen to watch their channel, when he talks about certain stocks, I have to be mindful of the date of when I'm watching his particular video and the price levels that he is giving, because that is something that I can apply. And it's something current. I can't watch a video where he's giving price levels on Tesla from 3 months ago and then think I'm going to apply it to my current investment strategy. So, Prez, what do you think? Do you ever implement any of Keenan's price levels in your plans?
Yes, of course, because
Mhm.
they're in real time for one, and for two, I can make my own judgment at the same time whether I want to take this trade or not.
Mhm. So, have you ever heard of any family members or any of your coworkers or anything that um kind of heard something and they jumped into it at the wrong time, jumped into it late, jumped into it at the wrong price point because they didn't have the full knowledge the of a true investment plan and strategy or
Yes,
trading strategy.
yes, and the top three are Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu. I've heard
Okay.
some of my associates. I wouldn't call them friends or coworkers for that matter, but some of my associates have made me privy to the fact that they've sold out of Bitcoin and bought Shiba Inu because they're expecting it to go to 1 penny, and they're expecting Dogecoin to go to $1. Not the same person, but different people. I've heard this from many different people that I'm friends with and follow on social media that I actually know personally and are associated with in some kind of way that are still holding on to these prayers. And that's not the way to go. It's just not the way to go. You really have to do your own research because you can make money off of these, off of Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, but you have to do your own research and you have to learn how to properly use a stop loss. If you don't know what a stop loss is, you shouldn't be indulging into Dogecoin and Shiba Inu.
Mhm. So, yeah, I think maybe we should do some examples of that one week of setting, making a trade, getting into something that we feel from the start is going to be a trade, and how to set our stop loss on maybe a couple of different platforms. Um, because the ones that I use, I have to do it manually. I haven't done any trades on MooMoo, which I think is the only one that has a trailing stop loss, but uh, that's something that is available to us that we need to learn to
Mhm.
have in our arsenal, or however you want to say it, in order to be a better trader. Or if we get into it as an investment but are not as sure about it as we are with some of our more long-term solid plays like an Amazon or an Apple, we might want to have that on until we decide solid that this is an investment in our portfolio.
Exactly. I totally agree.
So yeah, and I think people need to know where they're at in their plans for investing. What is your long-term outlook and perspective on what you plan on doing here? So, if you are really looking to do something, if someone is looking to be a trader, what would you say? What is your encouragement of that, Prez? Do you kind of say, don't just prioritize being a trader? Please start
Yeah.
with.
Yes, I tell everyone that inquires to me that asks me about learning how to trade. I tell them to learn long term investing first. If you don't want to learn long term investing first, then I pretty much give them the tough love. I pretty much shoo them away for that matter. Like the conversation is over. If you we're not talking about long term investing first and trading comes second, then the conversation pretty much ends after that. But I do encourage everyone that comes to me about learning how to trade to grasp the fact of understanding how to long term invest first, because at the end of the day, it's the younger you taking care of the older you. And say you get out here and you start trading and you blow your account, then what?
Mhm, mhm. Obviously, not what you set out to do. We're in this to make money. So, um, but how do you try you mentioned, a couple weeks back that your coworker had just started an account. Any update on how they're doing?
Yes, he's still been being consistent. He's just been buying BTI for now. Oh well, I'm wrong. He did tell me he started buying into Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and it was one other one I can't remember. But he's been watching my update videos, and he's been kind of sort of following them to a T, but making his own choices at the same time. So I think he's gonna be okay.
All right. So, uh, do you think like right now there's like too much hype around these crypto type of coins? Do you think that people are getting into them and losing money when it really wasn't when they could have done research, taken things a little more slowly and made money?
Well, not so much now this cycle, but the previous cycle, yes, it was really out of control. But I think a lot of the ones that actually stuck around, they got smarter and they're moving a lot different. Even as far as some of the content creators, like a lot of their content has changed and has is evolved over from the previous cycle to this cycle. Like you're getting more value now. So I think as a whole, as far as retail investors as a whole, they've gotten a lot smarter compared to last cycle. You do have still have some knuckleheads out there that's praying that Shiba Inu goes to a penny, but for the overall, from what I'm seeing, retail has gotten a lot smarter.
So you talking about cycles and you know the Bitcoin halving is coming up in the next couple of weeks. How long have you like been aware of the cycles of crypto and that level of detail when it comes to crypto investing?
Me, I learned that was one of the first things I learned actually when I was learning about Bitcoin and what it does and what it is before I even started buying it. I understood what Bitcoin was and what it was about before I actually started buying it, because I was eyeing it for a while because I would see the vending machines and the different little convenience stores, the little gas stations that say Bitcoin and it got the logo. So I got curious and I started doing my research. I actually wanted to do my research because I'm a penny pincher at the end of the day, and I don't want to lose money.
Mhm. So, what things crossed your mind? Like, is there anything that you saw, any particular videos, or anything you wanna share or chat with me about, that led you to wanting to have this as our topic for today?
Yeah, I've been noticing the clickbaity titles popping up once again. You get the titles like top 5 stocks to buy now. These stocks will make millionaires. Top cryptos to invest by Bitcoin halving. Crazy growth. You'll see these in the thumbnail and things like that. And someone that's inexperienced, they'll look at these type of titles and they'll click on them and they'll hear the hype. And next thing you know, they're 3, 4 months down the line when we're into Lord forbid another bear market. Then different content creators that actually provide good value and they're asking them, what do you think I should do about this? Or what do you think I should do about that? Are you still holding on to this? Are you still holding on to that? When in all actuality, you should have actually done your research.
Mhm. Yeah, you were joking the other morning saying that, if anybody's comes asking certain questions, you're gonna know what they did, that they, been holding on to something too long and got into it without a plan. Do you remember
Yeah,
saying that?
I said it in a joking way, but it was a lot of seriousness behind it
Mhm.
because I've been that person, and it's not a real good feeling to have. And if I can prevent someone else from making those same mistakes, then I'm going to try hard to prevent that.
All right. So with that, let's talk about what are your top, what are it, I don't know. I don't want to say top whatever. I don't want to give you a number, but let's talk about risk management. How do we go about it? How do we go about risk management in this? And navigating media and who you're following and what you're hearing. How do we apply risk management as an investor, as a trader?
Um, your thought process, first of all, you have to be thinking when you're looking at an investment, you got to be thinking at least 10 years, 5, 10 years down the road. When are you going to see an actual gain? And you start with your mindset first, and that's how you grasp the fact of now, okay, now I have to manage my risk because it's not about how much I'm making, is how much do I actually get to keep. So you learn how to actually evaluate these different individual companies. Okay, you have your ETF first, so then now you want to dabble into individual companies. Okay, how much growth potential does this company have? These are questions that you want to ask yourself. Like, how much growth potential does this company have? How well can this company do if we were to go into a financial crisis? Will this company be able to keep up and still maintain a profit margin? And these are things that you want to consider when you're looking into a long-term investment.
Mhm.
Or does this company pay a dividend? Because a lot of people like dividends. I like dividends. I'm sure Lisa likes dividends. So these are things that you want to look at before you get into. She's laughing. These are things that you want to consider before getting into a long-term investment. Is the company profitable?
Yes, who doesn't like to look down at their phone and see some dividend alerts coming through?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think we all need to just find the balance that works for you. How your age, when are you going to be retiring? How long are you going to have this money invested? What is it needed for? Being diversified, knowing your tolerance, and I guess that goes along with, again, with what I just said. How old are you? What is the what is the length of time that you have to, available to you to have this investment? Right now, I'm still building and growing. I don't really have an end for some of my investments. I hope to retire early, but I'm not saying I'm going to tap into the investments definitely at 59 and a half. I hope that they can stay invested as long as I truly need them to. Um, so I was actually talking to someone recently and he told me 100% of his portfolio is in crypto. And I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, there's no retirement fund. There's nothing in anything more basic." And he said, "No, it's everything 100% crypto." So,
Wow.
what do you think about that when I talk about diversification? Do you know anyone that's like heavily into tech? Just we definitely do because in our chat we sometimes have people that are heavily into or Apple, Nvidia, for example. So, do you know anyone, or have you ever? Did your portfolio was your portfolio ever at any point very heavily into a particular sector, and now you've worked to get it diversified?
Yes, I was heavily into the tech sector, and before that, I was heavily into electric vehicles and renewable energy sector. And a lot of these companies weren't profitable. I thought they would be, but I didn't know no better. And that's neither here nor there now. I know better now. But I actually follow a channel. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I actually follow a channel he's 100% crypto. He's a crypto investor, and from what I'm gathering, he's been doing pretty well because he actually takes the time to do the research, and he's not looking for a next week profit or a next month profit. He's looking 3, 4 years down the road. You understand what I'm saying? And
Mm,
he's carefully explaining his moves as to what he's doing and how he's approaching certain cryptocurrencies and things of that nature. So I think he has a really good channel and has a really good strategy, but it's just not for me. And that's something that we as investors have to determine our risk tolerance and what's our own personal strategy. Yeah, we're going to get good strategies from this content creator or that content creator, but at the end of the day, we have to come up with our own strategy that fits us and our needs.
Mhm. So, yeah, it's hard if you don't you have to have some knowledge coming to the table in order to be able to navigate these things. So, I how do we go about validating the information for ourselves? Any insight on that? So, I know last week I was talking and I shared with you a video, a 10-minute clip of probably a longer video that I just felt like this 10-minute clip could really confuse people. And she actually, like you said, it was one of those titles that said 5 things to invest into in 2024 or something. And Chipotle was one of them. And their stock split is coming up. But really, what she was saying, she was not saying her list was not investments. Her lists were trades because she was flat out saying, I'm not going to have this in a year and a half. I'm looking for, a few dollar price movements. And I know Chipotle's stock split is coming. And usually when a split comes at that level, which I think is Chipotle like a 50-to-1 split or something. It's
I'm not
something,
even not
it's
100% sure. All
something,
I do know is that they are doing a stock split, but I'm not
yeah.
invested in the Chipotle, nor do I even care to invest in. I don't even eat Chipotle. So you understand what I'm saying? I don't even. It's nothing against it if you
No,
eat
no.
it, but I don't even like it. Like you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not even worried about no Chipotle.
Okay, Stock David, agrees. I was saying that off the top of my head, but David says, yeah, it
He
is a
said 50
50
to
to
1.
1. So, yeah, with that, historically and in the research that she has, the knowledge that this person has, I'm sure she was trying to say that with that, the price movement could lead to it being a good trade.
Yeah,
But we have to have the knowledge and um have a plan and a strategy on how you're gonna get in and get out in order to maximize the potential of something like that. So, uh, like, we need to get out here and have our critical thinking skills ready in getting into this. So, any other, things that you've seen lately on, on videos? I know you mentioned a bunch of titles a little while ago.
yeah, a
So,
whole lot of titles.
did you watch any of those? Is there anything that you can highlight to us that you wanna make sure to help people to get on track with a plan here?
They are all a lot of the catchy clickbaity titles that I just mentioned. They're all pretty much saying the same thing that the video that you sent me was saying. They're basically trades, but they're not giving you their entry point, their exit point, or anything of that nature. And they're presenting them like they're long-term investments. And if you don't understand the difference between a long-term investment and a trade, you'll blindly invest into a trade.
Mhm.
But something that a good content creator in this field will be they will give you sources as to where to look for yourself, because we always say do your own research. Okay, well tell me where to look. Where did you look? You understand what I'm saying? That's what I want to know when I'm watching a particular content creator and I'm looking for some type of value. Where did you get this source from? What website? What app did you use? You understand what I'm saying? And if they're not telling me things of these nature, or what's your buy price and where are you putting your stop loss and where would you wait? Or just watch this, to get into your buy range. If they're not providing things like this, then I click off and I unfollow and do not suggest this in my feed anymore. I'll click all of that because I don't want to see a whole bunch of hype in my news feed. I want some education and not entertainment.
And I know we both we are both advocates for Keen and Grace's Discord, but what other places can people gain knowledge? I know I do enjoy the way that like for example, Stocks with Josh breaks down things in his videos as well as Keenan's videos. I think that they do things in a way that is very helpful. Um, so we're, I want us to be able to do this for ourselves because I'm not big on just saying, seek out professional guidance. Even if you do, I think you definitely have to have, like I'm saying, the knowledge to bring to the conversation because you
Mhm.
can be misled by them also.
Yes.
So how did you learn, like, when like you said it's been a few years that you've learned about the Bitcoin um halving and the cycles. How did
Mhm.
you learn about these things like expense ratios and deciding between the SPY and a VOO and navigating these things, like not just chasing high dividend yield, but also factoring in the stock performance and kind of making a total plan?
I basically learned on YouTube. Like I said, I evaluated the individual, each content creator that I was consuming, and I noticed that the good content creators all had a specialty as to where I can get a value in a particular field. If I want to learn about dividends, then I'm watching this content creator, as well as they're giving me their sources as to where to go to look for myself. So as well, I'm watching them, and then I'll go and do the research myself, and then I want to know how this chart works on this particular company that I'm looking into trading. You understand what I'm saying? Not investing, but trading. And I'll go to this content creator because he's an expert at charts and price action. And you understand what I'm saying? And I use different content creators for different purposes because they provide a different type of value.
All right. So in the past, you have shared, and I feel like I'm just I let me pull back. Prez, maybe you need to start asking me some questions. I feel like I'm just asking you questions and I'm not sharing my thoughts this week. What do you think? How's this conversation going?
It's all good with me. I'm like an open book because I feel like I don't want people to make the same mistakes that I did when I first got into the market. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I
Mhm.
can give my thought process and my feedback on how to properly navigate and how the mistakes that I've learned from and how I navigate them now. I'm gonna do so because
Mhm.
once you get into this space, it's like you feel a duty to enlighten others to get into this space, and they're not gonna know the same way you didn't know, and you're gonna want to help them. You're gonna want to help other people.
So we didn't prepare for this conversation in this way, but like you're saying, a good content creator for a particular thing. Like,
Mhm.
is Shalice Mommy Trader, is that someone that perhaps you look to for dividend investing guidance, for example?
Yes. Oh,
Yes?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. And
So
she also brings a very inspirational message as far as staying consistent. Because if you've been watching her for a while and you go and look at her previous content, like she gives you her whole backstory on how she went from this to that. You understand what I'm
mhm.
saying? She's been 100% transparent. And as being new into this field, you need someone to be transparent with you because you don't know what to look for and how it's supposed to look. So for her to provide that type of value, I really appreciate it. As being someone who hasn't been in the market as long as she has, you understand, or I haven't achieved that financial status that she has yet. You understand what I'm saying? I still look up to content creators like that for that type of value.
Yeah, yeah. So have you ever experienced, I have, with this, where someone says, I heard you mention this in your video, and I bought it because I heard you mention it. And I feel like they didn't listen totally to what I was saying, and they didn't know the full context. So have you ever talked about something on your channel and you feel like someone took just a snippet of it and didn't put it into action the way that you wanted as far as their investing or trading?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it was Palantir on my previous channel. I had did a video about Palantir, and they told me how they started DCAing in the Palantir and how it's been, pretty much on the decline at that point in time. It's up significantly more than where it was then. And I hope they didn't sell for a loss because, you know what I'm saying, they could be in
They
profit
needed
at
to
this
give it
point.
time.
But
Mhm.
yeah, it was Palantir, and they were telling me they were concerned about their investment. And I like Palantir as a company, but I wouldn't have so much of my capital allocated into a Palantir investment like they did. Like that was one of their primary investments, and that's really not the way to go. You want to be primarily invested into a broad index fund or ETF, something of that nature, before you start exploring into these individual companies just because you have a hunch or a feeling that this company is going to do well in the future.
So being the person that you are, and you chose this topic, so I know that it's something that you care about. Does that make you now wanna do some certain things differently on your channel so that it's more clear to your subscribers on how to go about investing, or trading certain things so that they really are following your guidance on it and under have a clear picture on how to potentially put it into action for themselves.
Miss Lisa, I'm already implementing it, from the conception of the channel. Like I give you my strategy and my allocation to whatever it is I'm investing into or trading, and I make it perfectly clear that it's not financial advice, of course, and I make it clear that I would prefer you to do your own research first before you get into this, and I try to give my thought process, you understand, upfront, even if I'm not into this investment yet or trade yet. Like I just mentioned when the show began, how I was interested in looking into TKO Holdings, and I gave you the basis on why I'm looking at this as a long-term investment. And I also gave you clear indication as to how much I would allocate to this particular investment. I said 1%, even though it's a multi-billion dollar company, but it's a 1% allocation because how much more room does this company have left to grow? I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, the content has been
Mhm.
getting better throughout the past few years, but how much more does this company have room left to grow? That's what I want to know. And until I can determine that, it will stay at the percentage allocation that I set, and that will be 1%. If I were to actually get into this investment, I haven't even bought it yet. I'm just looking at it.
Alright. So, what other points or thoughts did you have, on this topic in general, Press?
Um,
And
basically,
how people can navigate this in the best way?
I'm not sure if I covered, but the basic good content creator, they give you the sources is where to look. I said that already. Some of them will show you real numbers, whether it's good or bad, and that's a good plus in my opinion because they're being transparent. The transparency is a key factor here as far as am I going to trust their judgment on this particular investment or not. Like before I decide to do my own research, before I even decide to make my decision whether I want to follow this choice or not. You understand what I'm saying? Um, are they gatekeeping information that's free? Like a lot of them will give you the hype, and then they'll sell you a course, and you may buy the course. Not saying that all courses are bad because you have some really good ones out here, but you'll look at the price and see that it's really expensive. And if say you decide to buy this course, they're not providing the value that you need. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I don't want anyone to fall victim of that as well because I'm guilty of joining a the wrong Discord. You understand what I'm saying? Joining the wrong Discord, and I'm just getting bot alerts or something like that. I'm not getting no lesson plan or nothing like that. Like I get at KGU. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alright, alright. So, great topic. I think that, and I've been, enjoying, you did great last week, 3 times live, opening bell lives on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do you expect to keep that up this week, Press?
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, okay.
I'm
Press
enjoying. I'm having the time of my life because once you do learn how to trade and become a profitable trader, it gets to be a lonely world. You understand what I'm saying? So it's good to have other people in my chat that I get to talk to you the same way I talk to my screen if I didn't have a camera on. Because believe you me, the same way I'm on the screen, I'm on camera. I'm the same way off camera when I'm trading alone. I'm talking to the screen. I'm making jokes. You understand what I'm saying? And I get to really be myself when I'm while I'm trading, and it keeps me disciplined as well because I know I have eyes on me. You understand what I'm saying? So it
Yeah.
keeps me disciplined as well because it's easy to get into your emotions when you trade. Even once you gain experience, it's easy to get into your emotions.
Um, all right, so I want to continue with this little station break here. If you are not already subscribed to my channel or Prez's channel, please do that. That is a way that you can support us as well as using our investment links if you are ready to sign up for an account. And I also wanted to take a second, I hope you don't mind, Prez. I wanted to give a shout out to um, Keenan Grace, who is on his way towards 500,000 subscribers. If you're not subscribed to him, subscribe there. Josh Stocks with Josh is on his way to 100,000, and they are on a much larger journey than us, but I would love to help them get there. So subscribe to their channels. There's also great knowledge there. Um, Prez started a new channel. He had a channel previously and decided to do a restart. So we are trying to get him going with building up his channel. So please visit him Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Yeah,
9:15 a.m.
9:15 a.m.
and usually a premiere on Saturday.
Yes.
I am not so good with my schedule, so cannot give you a detailed schedule for myself, but I've been coming here to you guys with Prez 3 p.m. on Sundays, and you can always find some new content coming out from me during the week also, recorded content or premieres. Okay. So I was actually on the live with you on uh, Friday morning at between 10:20 and 10:30 when the earthquake hit.
Right.
And I ran off for a little bit and I came back to it and someone in your chat was saying that there was an earthquake and I had just figured it out when I looked down at your chat.
Hmm.
And I was also on live watching another person at 6 p.m. that night when I felt another tremor. So, yes.
Wow.
I was like, I was so confused with that press. I don't know. I know it was felt within 10 states. It wasn't just felt in the tri-state area. They said that, you could actually feel it across 10 different states. Um, so when the earthquake hit, I was like, I was trying to figure out what happened to my house. I wasn't
Mhm.
thinking the whole area shook. I'm just like, did a tree fall on my house? Did someone back up into the foundation of my house? I'm thinking, what happened here? Then I was thinking, did something explode in a neighbor's house nearby? And I'm feeling the vibration of it. But yeah, I earthquake. I don't know where earthquake was, where earthquake was gonna come across in my list of things that I thought was going on. But anyways, I figured it out, and yeah, I felt another, like, pretty good tremor about 6 p.m. that night. I was sitting in my bedroom and just all of the windows just shook. But
I felt nothing. I felt nothing. People around a few of my coworkers said that they felt a few tremors, and
Mhm,
I'm in Pennsylvania, and they said that the earthquake was in I think New Jersey, I believe.
mhm,
But I felt nothing. I was trading live. I was waiting for the spy to fall or raise one or the other. I can't even remember. But I had my game face on and I was focused. I didn't feel no earthquake.
mhm. Yeah,
Long as
I
my
was
internet didn't go out.
no, I would after I went down to my basement in the garage and I came back and yes, you were still live. You were on my living room TV all week, all 3 days of your morning lives, I think. No, 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 that's not true. because I'm in the office. When I'm in the office, obviously, you're not gonna be on my living room TV. That was only on Friday. Um, yeah, so any plans on your investing for the week? Or anything you're gonna be researching? Anything new gonna be added to the portfolio?
Nothing new this week. This week I'm focused on building up my VTI position. Um, my gut is telling me that we've reached the top of this cycle. I could be wrong, and it's not financial advice, but my gut is telling me that we're, if not at the top of the cycle, that we've already reached the top of the cycle, and we're going to slowly start to decline. So I would like to strengthen my position up in VTI.
Okay. So on when was it? On the 4th, um, things really dropped in the afternoon after 1:30. So what factors are you in tune with that, and what factors do you think were really impacting that?
Yes, I was in tune with it. The first thing I did was I went to tradingeconomics.com and seeing if there were any economic data that was being released. That's one good source that I use to find out if what's going on with the Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve basically controls the monetary policy of the United States, and they have the ability to print money or not print money, and their job is to keep inflation under.
So, are you muted?
I have a lot of background noise going
Oh,
on. I
okay,
mean,
okay.
I'm
So, do you think that, like, with everything that's going on, the rate cuts, do you think that, like, buying houses and cars and people are just gonna once the rate cuts come, people are just gonna run themselves into credit card debt and just get out there and be spending heavily again?
Yes, I think so. I think so
Mhm.
because the vast majority of the population um, don't have the proper mindset, and it's not a knock against anybody. It's just the way that we were taught in school. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people are a victim of lifestyle creep, and I'm a former victim of that. To where as though the more you make, the more you spend, the more you feel you should have, the more you feel that you should treat yourself or you owe yourself or things of that nature. And overall, as a whole, it adds to inflation. Like when everybody got the stimulus checks, for example, you seeing on social media all these parties. Even though we were quarantined, you had the house you had quarantine house parties. You understand what I'm saying? You had quarantine house parties going on, and seafood boils and things of that nature that I would see all throughout social media. Instead of people taking the time to, okay, well, it's no such thing as free money. They're gonna want this money back some type of way. That's the mindset that I had when I looked at my bank account and noticed that I had a mysterious couple $100 or $1,000. You understand what I'm saying? What should I do with it? They're gonna want it back. So that's when I really started to grasp the idea. I should invest this. I should try to put this money to work because I was already getting curious as to how to gain financial freedom because I got tired of. I don't want to work a 9 to 5 till I die like some of my predecessors and ancestors and things of that nature are concerned. And you get old and you're waiting for a SSI check and it's still not enough. Or you understand, you worked all these years for this good company and they're not going to take care of you when you're too old. But you were taught to depend on this company to take care of you. You put in all these good years with a good company, a good union job, or a good government job, or things of that nature, and you go to school and you spend thousands of dollars for this degree, and you get old, you get 60, 70, 80 years old, and Lord forbid you have some type of health issue, like, then what?
Mhm, mhm.
I'm really, really passionate about the when you get old and nobody's gonna save you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm really passionate about that because I've seen it happen to family members, neighbors, friends, coworkers. You know what I'm saying? Elders that I've looked up to growing up. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want that to be me. Like that's a L. That's a L. I don't want that to be you either.
Yeah, I've been saying, throughout some of my videos that you need to perhaps look to the people around you, retired people, your grandparents, parents, whatever, great uncle, auntie, whoever is around you. Are they living the way that you want? And get some insights from them. And then figure out right now, I mean, it's depending on how old you are, how far you are from retirement, give a call up and find out, or you can't call up. Set up an account and figure out what your Social Security benefits are going to be at your retirement age.
Mhm.
Figure out the performance of your 401k or 403b or whatever it is, and how much you are going to be able to draw on it year after year. And compare all of that to what your current earnings are and what you project your bills could be when that retirement age comes. Because I think there are people out here that are now living off of, say, 16 or $1,800 a month, uh, because they had no plan, and now that's it. That disability check or that Social Security check is all they have. So, um, yeah, one of my well, I don't wanna get into any statistics, family statistics, but there have been some people that have had longevity in my families and others that did not. But we don't know how long we're gonna be here, so we just have to be as well prepared as we possibly can. And what you were saying about stimulus, I in going into all of that lockdown phase that we were in, and we couldn't go anywhere. I That's how I started my daughter's, investment account, is basically from a substantial amount of it is from her stimulus money. Because as I was getting the stimulus, I was putting the portion related to "you have this kid" was going into her bank account, and I was, putting my portion into my account. Um, and so it was actually just sitting at Bank of America, not doing anything, and I said, "Okay, I gotta get this money, I have to get this money growing." So I set up her custodial account at Discover, and that's where she has her high yield savings account, and I put some money in a CD, which had a higher rate than even her savings. So the savings, that's immediately accessible. The CD, it's going to have certain months terms that we're not going to be able to touch it for. And then I set up her UTMA account and a Fidelity Youth account, at Fidelity. So the youth account is for teens, and the UTMA account can be for any age. So I with that, she got her debit card. She's able to, on the youth account side, she can do her investing herself with my supervision, because I have visibility to her investment account there, and I can put money onto her debit card. She's a teen now. She's not driving age yet, but I've taken her. She has a photo ID. She has her debit card. She's learning. She knows how to go in. If I give her $20, she knows how to go in and, say, for example, um, invest $4 into VTI, on her own, because I want her to have an understanding. I'm the one who does the investment into her UTMA account for her, which, as I said, was funded pretty much from just a little bit of savings that I had. But all of her stimulus money was pretty much allocated across what I just mentioned, because I needed that money to be working for her. And, I want her to know what she has, and not be overly, even excited by it and think, "Oh my goodness, I have 5,000, I have 6,000." I want her to know that this is investments. They can grow to so much more if you keep building on this for the next 15 years. And I want her to I talk to her about it, and I want her to see all of it, and know what's going on, and know that, um she has an example here of, we don't just put our money in Bank of America and spend it all, or and deplete it, and that's it. And then we're trying to build it up. I want her to see, like, even her CD, not a huge amount of money in there, but just letting her see that, oh, you're gaining. $12 every month just because it's in this account. And right now, this account has, 4 point whatever percent interest. So I like her to have the big picture on this because I didn't have this knowledge growing up, and I didn't have these insights as to m- market fluctuations and differences in being able to take advantage of a time like we've been in for the last over a year with these APYs being so high. I know they're going to come down, but even for and it's not investing, that's saving, but even for someone for with savings, they could have made a lot of strides just in that with CD rates and saving rates. Just making that move can gain you a lot of money, and we all need to have emergency funds accessible to us. So it is something that should be a part of uh your strategy, your money strategy, not related to investing or trading. So do you ever do any bonds or CDs or anything for yourself or the kids? Trade Prez? I don't know what
No,
name
I'm 100% stocks. I'm like 100% stocks, but it is something that I will be considering the next time I feel that we are at the bottom of the next bear market or nearing the bottom of the next bear market. I'll be looking to allocate some capital into some short term bonds and some higher yield savings accounts instead of just having just my emergency savings sitting in a high yield savings account like I do now. I'll
Mhm,
have more capital just working for me while I'm waiting to buy the big dip. So that's the plan that I have for myself and my investing strategy. I want to take notes from how the smarter money, the institutions move their money around. Like when the stock market is doing good and they're promoting that it's a bull market. A lot of the institutions are actually taking profit and they're rolling their capital into bonds and things of that nature, something that's going to still work for them while the market is on a decline. And then they'll sell those bonds off and buy stocks at the bottom of the market cycle. That's how it works. That's how stocks and bonds work. You buy the bonds while the stocks are low, and then you move that money into stocks when the stocks are low.
okay. All right. So anything else you want to chat about today, Prez?
No, that's pretty much all I had to cover today. And it pretty much ties into what we talked about last week. You understand what I'm saying? Like I try to make the topics all tie into each other, like it's a continued conversation. So you can go back and watch each conversation, and each conversation will tie into each other. At least that's my plan and my thought process.
Mhm. All right. Well, uh so you said your priority this week is going to be just focusing on your VTI.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
this week is a VTI week for me. And then the following week I'll be as far as the YouTube portfolio is concerned, the following week I'll be working on level 3. I'll be adding more to level 3. Not any new positions, but the positions I already have there. I'll be adding more to them because I'll feel that I'll have enough VTI to limit my risk as far as downside is concerned.
Mhm. Sometimes I get people joking with me on public, like, because I guess they get tired of seeing every day Lisa invested into VTI. I was like,
Mhm.
that's all you're ever gonna see over here. I'm sorry if this is the boringest story ever, but
I get a lot of spam bot on my public .com posts. Like
I do.
if you and that's something that I want to bring up to the people in that's watching this now. On some of these investment apps, you'll get spam bots that'll be send me 300 and I can turn it into 6,500 in 3 days or something like that. It's possible, but they not about to do that for you. They about to get your little $300 and be gone on their horse riding off west. So don't fall victim to any spam or any things of that nature. You may even see at a point in time someone pretending to be me, myself, or Lisa. I haven't encountered that yet, but there are larger channels on this platform where you'll see the bots come down and or they'll try to private message you or something like that. Like it's going to come a point where I'm not going to be private messaging anyone. So never send your money to anyone, and learn how to manage it yourself. You're better off that way. I don't want to see anyone fall victim to any type of scams.
Yeah, I've come across fake Lisa, people using my image, and yeah,
Really,
wasn't
I,
me.
I haven't I haven't found a
It was
fake Prez yet,
it
but I
wasn't
know
me.
it's coming. As long as
Yeah.
I'm being consistent with what I'm doing, I know it's coming.
Mhm. I saw last week that Miss V made a short out of one of our lives,
Mhm.
and you were saying I was talking about dollar cost averaging, and you were saying that don't forget about Google, Lisa. And I was like, I don't know about Google, and I went and I looked back to see if Google was one of the investments that was really a high, like unattainable price when I started investing into it. And you were
Mhm.
right, it was about $2,700. But that's another thing that's on my list of investments that I didn't let the price point hold me back. I got started investing when it was up at that price point with my $10, $5, whatever I had available to me. And now let's see, let's take a quick look if I can.
For me, it was higher than that. The share price of Google, I believe it was almost 3,000.
Mhm.
It was high. It was a little higher than 27 before the stock split. This is before the stock split, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I was DCAing into it. Now, my down point was I didn't hang on to it. I didn't keep it. I ended up selling it once I saw a little bit of green. But that's because when I first approached the market, I had a trader's mindset instead of an investor's mindset. And when you have that trader's mindset coming in the door, you're not going to see that long-term gain that you're wanting. You're only going to get that quick fix. And then what are you going to do with the money? You're going to go and treat yourself, and you're going to have bad money habits. And that's not something that you want. So it's good to learn long term investing first before you even consider trading. That way you can curb those bad money habits that you were taught growing up and throughout your early points of your life. So, whereas though, if you're broke for 90% of the year and then you get a settlement check because you was in a car accident, oh, now I owe it to myself to treat myself. I'm gonna go to the mall. I'm gonna go get fresh, or I'm gonna go on this trip, or I'm gonna go to this concert, and then the money gone, and then what?
Then
There's
back
something
to
to think
work,
about.
then back to work to make
Back to
that
work,
money
right?
again
Back to
because
work,
we're paycheck
and
to paycheck.
that's being counterproductive. We don't want to work. We don't want to work.
Yeah.
Work for who? Work for them, and then you can't take your cell phone on the site, or you can't do this and you can't do that. And some of us have children, and you mean to tell me I can't bring my cell phone in this warehouse in case of emergency? Somebody can't call me because of my predecessors, my previous employees used to get caught on their phone on social media when they're supposed to be working, or they're operating equipment or something like that. Like we don't want to subject to these rules forever. You understand what I'm saying? The key is to build financial. I mean, build generational wealth and obtain financial freedom. We don't want to work for these corporations that we consume from. Why not just own them and make money off of them?
Mhm. Yeah. So, what is the do you have your portfolio there? Do you what is like the top 5 in your growth portfolio percentage, like growth wise?
The top five companies.
Mhm.
There isn't a top five. There's a top four, and that is Apple, Microsoft, um, Alphabet, and I believe it's Nvidia.
Okay.
I could be wrong. And then other portfolios is like I alternate out whereas though Alphabet and Tesla may not be on level two. I may have Nvidia and Meta there. You understand what I'm saying? It's something. It's one of the Magnificent Seven that's going to be in that top four in my portfolio.
So, yeah, guys, as I was saying, I got started investing into Google when it was way up, like you're saying, closer to 3,000, say 2,700 to $3,000. But
Mhm.
over time, I'm almost at 20 shares of Google right now. And I'm up 26.9%. So I'm glad that I didn't let that stock price, the stock price before the split, as
Mhm.
well as, over the last few years, didn't let because I don't usually buy full shares even when it is $150. So
Right.
definitely glad that I dollar cost average and don't let a stock price hold me back from adding it to my portfolio, because really in time you can build up your share size during time frames when you're able to take advantage of a good stock price. So
Hmm.
um, same with so many other things that I can mention. I know back in October, I think it was like late October into November, there was a dip in the S&P 500, and I'm glad that I didn't just invest all at once, and I took my time in order to you know, come in and build up my share size, little by little, not just invest all of my money all at once. So I know some people find it to be a little tedious, but when you really zoom out and you I mean, it can go either way, but for me, I do think that you can by attaching different price points, you usually will benefit in the long run. So but you have to be knowledgeable of the performance over time so that you can see, uh, so that you have your mindset around, is this a good time to get in or not? And when to go hard, when to go heavy, and when to kind of pull back. So,
Right.
yeah.
And if you do want to get immediate exposure to this particular company, then you have to be aware of the potential downside. Like, are you entering this at the top of this particular company's price action cycle? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Did you get into this just because it was some good news that was printed out about this company? And like for me, an example in the YouTube portfolio, I got into Nvidia a lot later than others did, but I understand that there's a chance that this particular position can drop down significantly, a few $100 significant, and I'm prepared to weather that, looking at that red in that particular company, because at the end of the day, I believe in this company. So I understood before I even put that initial $5 into that investment that you could potentially be at the top. You could be buying this at the top. So if it falls down 30, 40%, already know you better be prepared to buy more. You understand what I'm saying? Because you believe in this company. You're now married to this company, because I plan on holding it not just a year, 2 years, 3 years, possibly 5 to 10 years. You understand what I'm saying? And that way I can avoid the long-term capital gains tax. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to trade this. Now, if I do want to decide to trade this, I have a whole separate portfolio for that. And whereas though I can find the best entry and exit prices for me. But you want to build your foundation, like Stock David did said. I see notice in the chat. You want to build that foundation out first, and learn how to long term invest first before you start considering trading.
So, what in your portfolio right now? Do you have any stop losses in place that haven't triggered on anything?
In my long term portfolio, no,
No.
and I'm not currently in any short term trades as far as swing trading any stocks. Whereas though I need to have a stop loss in place. All of my crypto stop losses were triggered, and I'm just laid back waiting to see what direction the overall crypto market is going to go from this point. It looks like it's trending back upwards, but I'm just waiting right now. I'm in the wait zone as far as my long term investments, there are no stop losses in place for my long term investments. Now, if one of those said companies are on a prolonged period of decline, that's when I will take the time to do a little more research on the financial history of this company, what's going on with them financially and their earnings and things of that nature. That way I can evaluate, do I want to continue investing into this company, or do I want to let it go, cut my losses and let it go and find a replacement in that portfolio for this company, something that's in that same sector that could be a better company. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if anyone remember from my previous channel, I had Johnson and Johnson on level 2 of my pyramid. I didn't like the move that they were making, so I cut it. No questions asked. Like, I didn't get married to this, and that was an investment, and I cut it because I didn't like they changed the business model that I agreed to before I even started investing in this company. So you want to be privy to each one of your individual investments as to how they're doing, and you want to research and reevaluate versus trying to have a stop loss set, because you can have a stop loss set on a longer term investment and get kicked out of a good long term investment versus weathering the storm and holding on.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that Johnson and Johnson situation, most definitely. So, the only thing that I currently have a stop loss set for right now is Tilray, and their earnings are coming up on Tuesday. So maybe I will have an update to share on that in next week's episode. So, guys, thank you. We're coming to the end of episode number 8. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for being here. What? Am I mistaken? No? Okay. All right,
I
Prez,
was counting them up.
okay. So Prez, could you close us out and I will see you next week.
Thank y'all for tuning in today. Tune in next week. Y'all better tune in next week. It's like I'm just messing with y'all, but if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die.
Bye, guys.